Hey guys, another week, another game dev vlog, and this week I have gotten some stuff done. Not quite as much as I hoped to, but basically the main thing that I did work on was rendering code for Everybody Edits Universe. I'm actually starting on that stuff now. It's about time that I get making some progress on that side of things. I won't have too much more time to focus on that this month, just because I'll have to focus on some things to do with the main version of Everybody Edits, but I'll talk more about that later. Now, to properly explain what I've been working on, I need to explain my whole methodology when it comes to rendering in Everybody Edits Universe, and basically what I'm trying to do is leverage the strengths of both canvas rendering and WebGL rendering. Canvas rendering is great for doing simple things like user interfaces and such, simple shapes, masking, just all those simple things that should be easy to do. Now, WebGL is great for performance, and of course that's especially necessary for world rendering. And as you can probably surmise, the main user interface and such will be rendered using canvas techniques. That's what Frost2D, my game engine, is using. And then the world renderer behind it will use WebGL rendering. But, of course, with canvas fallback for devices that don't support WebGL, or just if it happens to run slower on that particular device. Now, of course, considering the fact that I'll have two different rendering methods, I need to make sure that everything that I want to implement for rendering works in both systems, and that they effectively look identical. So basically what I have been working on is the canvas renderer. It's something fairly simple that I've done so many times in the past with like Rotate and Blockworks and all that. So I've basically got a simple system that breaks world into multiple chunk canvases. I pre-render everything into there, what blocks are in there originally, and then whenever you change blocks in the world, it redraws that section and that chunk. And of course every frame, it just draws the specific chunks that you can see. So it's only drawing a couple images per frame, as opposed to drawing a whole bunch of blocks. So anyway, overall the canvas renderer is fairly simple. I will have to change a few things as I go through, like making shadows and the separate layers. And as far as doing animated blocks, those cannot be baked onto the chunks, so those have to be rendered as a post-process. But overall, it's fairly simple. It's a lot of stuff that I've done before, and the things that I haven't aren't really all that hard to figure out. Now, doing the WebGL renderer is a little trickier. There is a lot more to think about when it comes to storing vertex buffers with the various data that's needed. In the past, I've tried a couple different things. In HakeCE, that was like my first experiment with WebGL, and that wasn't really done the most efficiently. I did break it up into chunks, but I had it where if any blocks changed within that chunk, in that frame, it would rewrite that entire chunk, and that wasn't very fast. I did later learn a method for just swapping out data within that vertex buffer object, and that works a lot better. Now, the test that implemented that was just a simple grid of triangles that represented each block, and they had their X, Y position, and then a UV position, and that just represented where it referenced on the texture. And when you draw some blocks in the world, it would just replace the UV coordinates with the proper coordinates for whatever type of block you're drawing. So that works pretty well, except it doesn't work with multiple layers, right? So it doesn't work with adding data into the array or anything. But there are techniques of doing that. I still need to research some of that and experiment with it, and it's going to be pretty fun stuff to do. But I do need to pause on that right now, because as I said, I do need to get back to some stuff in Everybody Edits. So that's what I'm going to be doing this next week, is some stuff probably to do with the lobby overhaul. I do want to keep it balanced, though. While we do want to improve some things, we want to definitely improve the performance, and we want to improve the experience for any new users that may come aboard. We don't want to spend too much time working on this, honestly, because, well, the time is better spent working on Everybody Edits Universe. But I do want to get that work done. That's what I'll be doing this next week. But overall, things are moving along. It's just a little slower this week than I'd hoped, but things are getting done, making progress, and getting closer to the goal. So, anyway, I guess that is going to have to be it for today. As always, I do want to thank my contributors over on Patreon. It is a massive help. If you want to check out my Patreon page for yourself, the link is down in the description below. But yeah, I'll see you around. Goodbye.